Hello everyone, I just wanted to go through a quick tutorial with you on how to start your own testing session. So the first thing we have to do is to get to the CASP website. Lots of different ways to do that. You can go through my blog. You may already have it bookmarked. I'm just going to type in caaspp.org. Now when you get here, you're looking for the tile that says Test Administrator Interface for all online tests. Go ahead and click there. In my opinion, they could have made that a little bit more prominent, but I'm not the web designer. So when this opens, you will need to log in with your Tom's username and password. If this is the first time that you have logged in, you will need the temporary password they gave you. If you have logged in previously, hopefully you changed that temporary password to something more permanent that you will remember and be able to use regularly. So I'm going to go ahead. Now this is going to take a while, so let me just address a couple of things with you while we're waiting. You're going to need to log into this website using your Tom's credentials that were emailed to you. You should have already received those. You have a username and you will have a temporary password. Please log into this system before testing day and change that temporary password to a permanent password that you're going to remember. If you need to, please write that down somewhere. I am not going to have access to your username and password on testing day. We don't want to waste a lot of your testing time by running around trying to find your Tom's information. So please make sure that you keep that in a safe place and take care of logging in and changing your temporary password to a permanent password. Okay, we are waiting for the test administration interface to open. When that does, we are most likely going to get a message about our pop-ups and our pop-up blocker. I may not get it on this computer. I may have disabled my pop-up blocker, but we'll just take a look here and see what happens. If you have disabled your pop-up blocker for this particular browser, you won't have a problem. If you do have a pop-up blocker, I'm going to show you really easily how to fix that. Now this may take a while. If you're watching this video, you might want to fast forward until you see something actually happen on the screen. I'm going to just quietly wait for the next stage. Oh, look, didn't have to wait at all. Perfect. All right, so you'll see that we have a message here. Important, a pop-up blocker is turned on for this browser, and you're going to have to disable it. So the easiest thing to do is to come up here to the Omnibox or the address bar at the top of your screen, and you'll see this little screen icon with a red X. That means that pop-ups are being blocked for this page. If we want to allow pop-ups, we're just going to click one time, and we have the option here, always allow pop-ups from this particular site. So go ahead and say always allow, and then click done. Now, the next part of this message here says disable it and click your browser's refresh button. So I'm going to go to my refresh button. I'm going to click that. Excuse me. And we're going to see what happens next. Wow. Okay, so let's hope it's not like this on testing day, just saying. Here we go. I do not know why this window is staying open here on the top. I'm going to try closing that. I think we should be okay. Good. So this is the window that I want you to see. This is your operational test selection. And this is where we are going to select the category or the type of test that our students are going to be taking. And our students are going to be taking here in this purple section, the Smarter Balanced Summative Assessments. So go ahead and click there. And then you'll see it's giving us a little warning. This is just a fail-safe. It's saying you've selected the summative assessment. Is that really what you wanted? And it is what I want, so I'm going to click OK. We are not going to be doing the interim assessment, so you can just ignore that section. Then we're going to come down here to this green button where it says Start Operational Session. I'm going to click that button. And it is going to open a testing session for me. This right here is the session ID number. You need to write this on the board in your classroom. This session ID plus the student's SSID is what they will need to get in and join this testing session. So after you have written that on the board, students will start to join your testing session, and you'll start to see a list down here of students who are awaiting approval. Right here, grayed out, is your approval button. So you're going to go through and approve the students that are showing up down here, and you'll be able to keep track of how many people are approved over here. This is your testing reset button. Remember, we talked about that. You can see every once in a while my screen grays out and I get a little refresh button here. That is the system automatically refreshing. It happens about every, 30 seconds to a minute. So you really don't, there it is refreshing right there. You really do not need to use this refresh button very often, if at all. Remember that every time you use this refresh button, you're taking up more of the bandwidth. So unless you really need it, just let the system refresh on its own. So basically your job after this is to walk around and monitor the students who are testing, make sure that they have selected the correct test for the day. And we'll talk more in our next training about how to end the session. And that's it. Good luck with testing. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions.